Last week was a calmish week as we installed our freshwater tank's level gauge and we introduced Motorhome Chris to Meraai. Smoke and John continued with our interior wall cladding, and I was once again disappointed with the service of a small business on the lower south coast of KwaZulu-Natal. You want something done properly? Do it yourself. This week we are hoping for some movement on the engine front. Engine movement into Meraai, that is. We start prepping our 5-speed gearbox for installation. The gas guys come to do our gas installation. I mess up some measurements. And Motorhome Chris makes a comment that nearly makes him disappear. All this and so much more in episode 82 of A Dream Called Meraai. Before we begin, just some feedback regarding the shoddy service on my Snowmaster fridge freezer. Up front, I must say that this is an amazing piece of equipment, and since we have had ours, it has worked damn hard and never let us down. I laid a complaint against the service agents for Snowmaster on the KZN South Coast with Snowmaster South Africa. Snowmaster's service manager, Pierre Fourie, got back to me within the half hour. He assured me he would take it up with Proline, the local service agents, who by the way said they would get back to me when I first reported the fact that all was not right with my Snowmaster they had just serviced. I am still waiting for that call. Right, let's get to it then. It is a new week, it is a new day, and yes, challenges all over the show. Challenges here, challenges there. But things have got a little bit too slow for my liking, and it's just not the right time for things to slow down. We should be accelerating and going up, but I just feel things have slowed down. So I'm going to see this week if we can, put a bit of heat under a few butts and get something to happen, because the stretching out is really taking its toll on I think on everybody. And we really need some movement, and hopefully what we are going to see is the engine going into Meraai. Last week I mentioned our clearance at the rear was impacted a bit by our under-vehicle water tank. Well, I need not have worried. We have plenty of space. The guys have removed the trestles, so Meraai is now standing on her wheels. And sure, she looks good, eh? And she's high. There's a lot of space underneath this vehicle. And the body will even be a little bit higher because her shocks aren't in yet. This week, we say hello to an old friend, our gearbox. Something we haven't really spoken about for a while now is my gearbox, and you can see it there resting on that green insulation behind me, and that's the 4-speed gearbox. So what is happening now is the guys have started to clean up the new 5-speed gearbox. And once it's clean, they're going to open it up, check everything is good before they do a final assembly and get it ready to be installed. This is the 5-speed gearbox we will be fitting. Once it has been cleaned of all the grit and grime, it will be opened to check everything inside is hundreds. What is not so hundreds is the very quiet workstation at our dashboard. Resin man Andre has forsaken the dash to work on a golf cart. Not what I am wanting to see at this stage of our build. I need to see movement. I am worried that the fiberglass work is not happening at the rate that it should be. We are still far from having a working dashboard. Andre must still design the side panels and Meraai's nose. My bad mood regarding the fiberglassing seems to have been noticed. Just arrived at East Coast Scratch and Dent, and my little bit of a rant about fiberglassing must have done something, because I don't see the dashboard, and I see Andre has started working on the mould for the side panels, and they are the panels that will run all the way along the whole bottom between the wheels and over the wheel arches. So let me go see where the dashboard is. The dash was in the paint shop and it was looking good. Well, it's looking great, and I see there's already a coat of paint on it. And I don't know how many coats they give it, but that's to seal everything up, and so that Andre can then make a fiberglass mold, which is the final process. So positive movement there, positive movement. I since learned that the dash mold gets 3 coats of paint. Then there is a wax curing process, and only then does the fiberglass get thrown. Andre was also back at his post, and now he was hard at work sanding down those side panel mold. Let's hope the fiberglass go slow is a thing of the past. Back at Meraai, our Mr. Reliable, Smokin' John, is always at his post, and that means a huge amount to us. Last week I chatted about how the marks and the blemishes on the blue paneling were bugging Brahm. Well, what Smokin' John's doing behind me now is that's the paneling for the bedroom. So he's using like a filler and just filling in all those tiny little things so that it can be blemish free, so we can have a blemish free bedroom. The work on the interior cladding has been on the go for a while now, probably due to the sheer number of panels we have. This sanding is a laborious, slow process, and I often feel like going and just shaking the oaks and saying, come on man, let's just loss it and go for it. But we can't, it's got to look good. But it's time consuming, hey, just dragging everything out. I feel like yeah, that's how I feel, just, The next day, Brahm sent me this photo that shows the insulation in the outer wall of our ablutions. When I arrived at East Coast Scratch and Dent, the wall was in place and it looks fabulous. One hardly notices the blemishes that were worrying Brahm. Something that is not so fab is the fact that Meraai's engine is still not where it should be, and it ain't gonna happen this week. The guys need to do a bit more work on the engine compartment in order to be able to get the engine in place.
So what's going to happen first, we have to put the gearbox on and tighten everything outside, and then from there the support is taking off there. We're going to push the bus back totally. We're going to line the motor and the gearbox up, and then we're just going to push the bus over it, and then we're going to lift it up and tie it onto the bus.
It did not take long to remove the support in the engine compartment area. With this support removed, there will be masses of space to maneuver the engine into place. The old bolts that were removed from the brackets are in a terrible condition, and Brahm has ordered high tensile steel bolts to replace them. I had had a rough few days worrying about our build, and after my chat with Brahm, I was starting to feel a bit more upbeat about things. Until a little earlier, something quite funny happened. Markiplier Chris comes up to me and says, you know, if you want to bring your weight down on the vehicle, I suggest you get a new engine, just get a smaller engine. He's okay, he's still breathing, he's okay though, he's alright. As soon as he was able, Markiplier Chris was given 2 hours hard labour on some arbitrary vehicle. My spirits were lifted further when a roof vent I ordered from Parasol SA arrived via courier. However, that high was dashed when I saw the product was damaged. Not only damaged, but it was also not great quality. I'm a little bit disappointed. I ordered a roof vent for our vehicle from Parasol SA, and it arrived and the 2 little plastic studs were broken off. There's no rubber seals and there's no installation instructions at all. We really do need a roof vent. So Brahm suggested we try and repair the damaged vent. Brahm just tried to glue the little broken pieces back, and the glue won't hold. So yeah, I'm actually going to just return this product. It's really not worth the money at all. This is junk. I am now waiting for feedback from Parasol SA regarding a claim they have put in with Postnet, who Parasol say damaged the goods. I am not convinced. I am, however, convinced by the great work our gas guys have done. Nick Smook and his assistant are accredited gas installers, and we called them in so we can feel safe regarding the gas setup and get a certificate of compliance. It was great to arrive at East Coast Scratch and Dent this morning and to see that Nick here is busy doing the gas installation. He's threading the pipe through the metal tube that the Oaks installed. And it hasn't been an easy task because he's used to putting stuff in a domestic application in a household. So I thought, well, let me just check with the oak what made this a bit more challenging.
Well, the piping part.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Because of the bends and things like that.
What makes it more difficult?
It's more confined. We've used a thicker and stronger pipe here.
Okay.
And because if you put rigid pipes, they can cause fatigue.
Okay. So this won't crack or perish or...
No, it shouldn't crack or perish.
Okay. And the fact
But
we got it running inside a steel pipe is also...
Much better because it's under the vehicle because of the stones and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It could chip it or something like that. Yeah.
Just as I thought things were barreling along, I mess up. Last week I was quite excited when I found guys in Durban who could do foam cutouts for our crockery and all my camera equipment. Well, I went and fetched it and they've done an amazing job. I mean, look at here. This is really, that is very lacquer. Now that's all for my camera equipment, and this is the stuff for the drawer. Fantastic. However, Billy made a... Yeah. This shelf here is where the camera equipment is going to go. And Smoke and John and I even measured it. And I wrote everything down very nicely. Either I was not concentrating or I heard John wrong when I wrote the measurements down. The length is fine, but I am about 5 centimeters out on the width. I swear I feel like slapping myself so hard right now. That was not very bright of me, but I've showed it to Bram and we can make a plan. We can salvage it and I can still get the camera thing in here. It will mean forfeiting a bit of space on the one side of the cutout. I just, sometimes. We have always financed this build from hand to mouth. In other words, we never had upfront funds for this project. We did not win the lotto or inherit a fortune from Tannie Gert. As we earn, we build. Up until now, we have only just coped. We had worked out we could just scrape through to the 30th of May, Mariki's birthday, the day we thought we would be done with the build. However, it was not to be. Our finances are now pretty depleted, and moving forwards just became a very real challenge. But the challenges that we are facing are absolutely nothing compared to what my Ukrainian mates are facing. I have heard horrific stories just this week, diabolical stuff that breaks my heart, and I just think our planet is, I don't know, man, there's something really out of kilter. But anyway, just to get back to our build, yes, we are deeply worried. We are very worried about moving ahead. And then I'll go and do something stupid like mess up that foam insert. I just, it's beyond me, and I really get mad, and it is quite demoralizing. But we have to move on, and we have to fight on. We have to complete this. Everybody, please look after yourselves and keep safe. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You will find us under A Dream Called Meraai. Until next time, keep your dreams alive.